we're going to this, hopefully, the final segment. But for those people who have immigration concerns and thinking that there will be better news on immigration in the future and would like to prepare, what do you suggest they do? What types of documents are important for any type of immigration petition?
Look, it's always useful to have proof of the entry to the United States. If you entered legally with a passport and the visa, make sure you don't lose it. Make sure you keep the passport and the visa and maybe even the I-94 or the entry stamp to be able to prove that you entered the United States legally. And then keep a record of your life here, mainly by way of income tax returns. If you have been employed, even if it is not legal employment, you are still required to file tax returns. Keep a record of your bank accounts, and if you obtain any kind of education, keep a record of your educational certificates, and of course make sure that you have from back home your records like certificate of birth, certificate of marriage, and just have it all available. So it can be used. It can be used without too many difficulties.
Yes. And what types of professions would be most useful for them to find employment in the United States? It's interesting how I still receive phone calls and emails from people who say that, well, they asked their daughter or their son to take up nursing or to do computer studies. Are those the most useful professions nowadays?
The U.S. is short of professionals in any field. And if you study anything that leads to a profession, any field in engineering or in science or even in business, obtaining a degree is always a good way to obtain a useful, good employment later.
And for those people who have advanced studies like a master's degree or doctorate, do they have more chances or more opportunities?
Absolutely, yes.
I remember you mentioned before, was there such a type of visa for them who have advanced or graduate studies that was available for these people?
People who have advanced degrees are able to obtain green cards faster. Of course, it requires a job offer in a position which needs an advanced degree.
Right. Now, tell us about the opportunities for the investors. Is this a still good way of coming to the United States, investing, like putting up their businesses, setting up a branch office in the United States?
If you're talking about immigrant visas, investors are still able to get immigrant visas if they invest either directly $1 million any place in the United States, or indirectly make an investment of $500,000 in what is called the regional center in certain specific locations in the United States. This is still a good way of obtaining an immigrant visa. It's not so simple, but it can be done.
Right. Now, Attorney Golan, do we have good news in terms of the visa bulletin? I remember you had mentioned a little bit earlier about some quotas that have moved faster. The waiting time has become shorter. Is that true?
At least in the employment-based petitions, the waiting time became a little shorter. In the F1, which means adult unmarried sons and daughters of American citizens, the cutoff date now is July 1, 2005. Before that it was March 2005, it advanced by about 2 months. F2A, which is for spouses of immigrants and minor unmarried children of immigrants, it is now at November 2014, and it's too bad, about 2 years. For F2B, which is adult unmarried children of immigrants, we are backdated to December 2005. Previously, it was September 2005, so this is an advance of 3 months. F3, which is for married sons and daughters of American citizens, a long wait, going back to June in 94. Previously, it was March 94, also an advance of 3 months. And F4, which is brothers and sisters of American citizens, we are back to March 93. Previously, it was February 93, only 1 month difference. In the employment-based categories, employment E1 is open. EB2, we are on February 2014, which means about 2 years wait, 2.5 years wait. EB3, we are on, and EW, we are on July 2010. Previously, we were on May 2009. This is an advance of a little more than a year, which is good news.
Right. That's good. That's the visa bulletin as mentioned and enumerated by Attorney Jack Golan of Papkin Shamin Golan Law Offices. Once again, it's 213-383-3222. That's the telephone number to call for free initial consultation. Now, Attorney Golan, it's always nice to end the program. I remember hearing your interesting stories on immigration. I have said that nothing surprises you anymore, but there may be some beautiful surprises still.
Well, I have something maybe not so nice, but at least juicy.
Okay. We're ready for it.
In a way, it is a surprise. If you open today's Los Angeles Times, Los Angeles Times of today, there is a big story there about the Philippines. And the headline, the heading of the story is, I'll read it to you, other than the Vatican, there is just one country where divorce is illegal. And some Filipinos want to change that. This is a big story about a movement to obtain legal divorces in the Philippines. And this is a very interesting story. And what is juicy about it is that they talk also about annulments in the Philippines. How difficult it is to get an annulment. And they also talk about certain judges. This is what surprised me very much. The newspaper published it, that certain judges are known to take bribes for the purpose of expediting annulments. and that the cost of the bribe is about $5,000.
Wow.
So I looked and looked. I couldn't find the names of the judges and in which courtrooms they sit. But this is the interesting story of today in the Los Angeles Times about divorces and annulments in the Philippines.
Yeah, talking about that, Attorney Golan, I know that has always been a cause of concern by many who have, immigrated to the United States. They have pending, divorce cases, and perhaps they want to separate. But will that be a better solution? But I know, too, for a fact, that some people, like most celebrities, have gone for annulments, and they were able to obtain annulments, and after a long period of time. But will this sort of solve the problems of people who are here, who are married but have been separated for a long time, and that will be a better solution in terms of their immigration situations?
Look, people who are here should really don't have a problem because they can get a divorce here. So people who are here don't have a problem. The problem is for people who are in the Philippines and they are stuck in marriage situations which they don't want anymore or never wanted. And I am not a Filipino and I cannot advocate for divorces in the Philippines, whether it's good or bad. It's up to the Filipinos to decide. But I can tell you that I've seen many, many complications in the lives of Filipinos because of inability to get divorces.
And so I ask this because of this sensitive situation wherein they're in a dilemma. They say they can file for a divorce here, it's recognized here, but when they go home to the Philippines, it's not recognized. So they don't really know what to put in their application forms. But some experts say if you're married in the Philippines, even though you get a divorce in the United States, you're still married. Is that true?
You are still married in the Philippines, but you're not married in the United States.
I see. And for purposes of immigration, when they file for their application to, well, for residency or citizenship, if they have a divorce here, they can just say they're unmarried or divorced.
If they have a divorce, they are divorced.
I see. That's it. That answers the question then. Well, Attorney Golan, I didn't expect this juicy story today.
Well, just get to Los Angeles time.
Okay. But finally, well, so hopefully next time around, Attorney Golan will have more news, especially about the veterans, if they have taken advantage of that, or if there had been more people that surprise you at your office that have had pending petitions, and they still come after 10, 15 years. And you tell me that that happens sometimes.
It does happen all the time.
Right. Thank you so much once again for this beautiful interview with Attorney Jack Golan. And they're open every day, Monday to Friday. And call him for a free initial consultation. It's very important you consult with a lawyer because I know you've mentioned in the past, Attorney Golan, that you've accompanied some people during their final interview for citizenship, and you get surprised sometimes at the last minute. So just tell the truth. 213-383-3222. That's the telephone number for Attorney Jack Golan. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Attorney Golan.
Thank you too. My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. This has been Immigration Update on the Air with Attorney Jack Golan, and you're listening to Immigration Update on the Air. Your host here, Awee Abayari. If you have any immigration concerns, make sure to email us and let us know about it, and we will ask the immigration expert. Thank you very much for watching and for listening. May God bless you always.